Recording. Well, good morning, everybody. Harry Newhand here. I'm really excited. Thank you so much for joining me today. Excited about launching this new division of Eric Law Firm International, the network marketing training division. And we're excited because Eric has always had a large following of network marketers that have participated in his trainings, but we never had anything specific for network marketing. And when I came aboard, Eric and I, we've been talking about it for a couple of years now, of putting something together. And this is going to be our launch here. This is going to be our kickoff to this division. So thanks for joining us here today. We're going to go right into it. I'm going to share with you, based on my experience in growing in the industry, starting in the industry back in my 20s. I grew up in the restaurant business and got into network marketing as my first sales opportunity. And it wasn't easy. It was a struggle. And it was interesting because I had rolled up about 6 spaces. The 5 people between me and my end sponsor, they all quit the business rather quickly. And I stayed in it and I rolled up. And that took me about 1.5 years to roll up to where I actually could get some support. And these 5 things I'm going to share today, what I found are 5 key distinctions that separate the top earners from everybody else. And I've also found that if you implement one of these, you'll have practical results right away. If you implement all 5 of them, your business will go to a whole nother level. And some of them may sound familiar, but let's dive deep into it a little bit here and share with you what it could do for you. So 2 outcomes I want for today. One is to share these 5 critical secrets that I feel to building any network marketing business. And the second one is at the end of this, we'll get into it a little bit later, but I'm going to invite you to participate in a half-day immersion workshop with me to fast track your business in compressed time. There's several topics that we'll go into a little bit later that I'm going to go over in that half-day workshop, but that's going to come up here in a couple of weeks, but we'll get into that. But these are the 2 outcomes I'm looking for today. Now, why would you want to learn from me? My name's Harry Newhand Jr., as I mentioned. And here's why I feel it'd be good for you to learn from me. 1 of 20 plus years of network marketing experience, 35 total years in sales. I've trained several top earners and leadership teams that are earning 6 and 7 figures. 2 different companies, 5 countries, and 4 different languages. Actually moving to 2 of those countries for a year. And coming in January, we're going to be hosting a podcast for network marketers, best practices. And so that's some of the reasons why you'll want to pay attention today. And we'll cover some more in just a little bit and kind of connect the dots for you. So here's the first one. Employ yourself. Now, sounds simple, but here's what I found is that employing yourself, it's easy to say, but over the last 22 months, since we've all been locked down in COVID, more people have learned how hard it is to employ yourself. Being your own boss is not as simple as it sounds. Yeah, the results sound great. And when you see your brother-in-law, your neighbor, that's their own boss and they're doing great and highly successful, it looks all good. But actually employing yourself, again, more people over the last 22 months have learned how hard it is, that it's not as easy as it sounds and as it looks. For me, it was very difficult to employ myself. I was used to punching a clock. I did that most of my life up until I got into direct sales in network marketing. I punched the clock. I was on a schedule. I knew when to go in. I knew what was expected of me, and I knew what to do. And I did it. And when I punched out, I was done. So employing yourself is different. Those of you that are self-employed, you know what I'm talking about. Those of you that aren't, it's easy to get distracted. It's distraction, especially if you're working from home. You're distracted with the refrigerator, you're distracted with the TV, you're distracted with the kids, you're distracted with doing errands, running errands instead of doing your work. Why? Because there's no clock to punch. There's no clock to punch, and there's nobody to hold you accountable. There's nobody but you to hold you responsible for the end result. So when you understand that employing yourself, in my opinion, is probably the most important and critical step of owning your own business, than anything else. I mean, that's the foundation. That's where it starts. Employing yourself it's not just saying it, it's doing it. It's what's your schedule? Are you working the schedule? Are you doing what needs to be done? Are you taking care of business, getting the sales, getting the clients, getting the prospecting? What are you doing on a daily process? Your daily method of operation. We call it the DMO, daily method of operation. So are you holding yourself accountable and responsible? So again, it's great to say I own my own business or I work from home, but are you actually doing that? And sometimes you got to play those mental tricks on yourself. You've got to set boundaries. You've got to create a schedule. And in my opinion, not creating that schedule leaves it open and the opportunity for you to get distracted by the neighbors, get distracted by somebody, your friend of yours calling you up, say, hey, let's go here, let's go there. And again, that's something that having that fine line of distinction between, no, I'm working, learning how to say no, learning how to draw the line, learning how to create those boundaries where when you are working, you are working. So that's number one. Let's go into number two. Have an emotional attachment to your product or service. Now, when I first got into network marketing, I was all about the money. I got in because I saw the opportunity. But what kept me in was the results I got on the products. The products that I used affected me. And we find there's three things that I did and that I was taught to build my business. I used the product, I promoted my brand, and I talked to people. Now, when you use the product, it's not just use one of the products, it's use as many of the products as you can. It's use the product, get emotionally tied to those products. What does emotional tied mean? Here's what it meant for me, is you'll use that product because of the results you got, no matter what. I mean, whether you make any money on that product or not, whether you make any money from that business or not, you're going to use that product. And that's has held true for me. I still use today 3 products that I've been using for 3 decades because I got emotionally attached to those products. And that's what sets me apart, or will set you apart from when you talk to people. Because when you talk to people, here's what I learned. It's not just what you say that matters, it's how you feel about what you say. And when you are emotionally tied to those products, you can't hide that. When you talk to people about your results, whatever they are, I mean, if it's a water filter, if it's a water cleaner, if it's an air purifier, if it's a nutritional supplement, if it's solar panels, whatever the product is, it's important for you to be emotionally attached to the product or service, because that will come across in what you say and how you say it. So, we grow up, it's not what you say, or it's how you say it. It's different. It's not what you say, it's how you feel about what you say, like I talked about. So that's the second one, is have an emotional attachment to your product or service. Let's go to number 3. Have a simple, duplicatable system. Now, this is more important than most people realize. I needed a simple, duplicatable system because I wasn't duplicatable. The thing about network marketing is you've got thousands, if not tens of thousands of people, millions now with all the companies that are out there that are all their own boss. Now, particular company, you might have 10,000 people in your company, tens of thousands of people in your company. They're all independent business owners. They're the chairman, founders, and CEO of their own business underneath the umbrella of your company. So if you don't have a simple, duplicatable system, then you've got tens of thousands of people all creating their own system. And first of all, most people aren't going to do it. That's why they quit, is because there's nothing to follow. This duplicatable system needs to be as simple as point, guide, and direct. If you can't point, guide, and direct so that your prospect can see, hear, understand the information so that they can make an informed decision quickly, then you're really at a disadvantage. So this duplicatable system can be a CD, it can be a DVD, it can be a recording, a YouTube video, can be something that you've done, a video that you've done. It needs to be, again, duplicatable and simple. Now, again, here's why. You can do it fine, but by the time you recruit Bob and Bob recruits Jane and Jane recruits Tina and Tina recruits James, now you've got 5 levels deep. Are they all trying to figure out their own system, or are they frustrated because they weren't taught the duplicatable system? So you're creating a business built on weakness because they don't know what to do. And so you end up with a revolving door. You're recruiting people and they don't have a plan of action. They don't have something that's simple that they can just point, guide, and direct. They can take that tool, whatever it is, and they can use it to expand their business, to share the product, to share the opportunity. So having a simple duplicatable system, in my opinion, is critical, one of the critical steps that will help you grow your business on a solid foundation. Because that's what we want. We want to build it on a solid foundation, a rock solid foundation. So when you're employing yourself, you have an emotional attachment to the product, and now you have a simple duplicatable system that you can share with others so that they can actually duplicate themselves, because that's the power of network marketing. It's duplication. If you don't have a system that will self-generate and duplicate easily, it's frustrating. It's frustrating because you're recruiting 4 and 5 levels deep, like I was. When I got recruited, again, I rolled up 5 spaces because I didn't have a duplicatable system. My sponsor was in Houston, Texas, and all the sponsors above him were in Houston, Texas. So here I am in Detroit all by myself. And back then we had VCR tapes, and we had this tape that would just plug it in, push play. It was an hour and a half long, and you get people to watch it, and they would either sign up or buy the product. Well, teaching me that back then, we had phones that were attached to the wall. We didn't have cell phones. Wasn't that simple. It wasn't duplicatable for me. So it took me a while to learn a duplicatable system, learn what they were doing, and follow the plan. And as I rolled up, I finally got to somebody that was willing to teach me the proven plan of action of using the products, promoting the brand, and talking to people. We just found ways to talk to more people. And we'll get into that a little bit later, but talking to people is critical, because if you talk to some people, you make some money. If you talk to lots of people, you get rich. So having this duplicatable system that allows you to talk to as many people as possible in the shortest period of time, especially now with technology, recruiting and spreading the word online and offline, it's magical, because everything goes faster, can go faster if you learn to employ yourself, if you have those barriers in place, if you have an emotional attachment to the product, that nothing will change your thought and your process. So again, step number 1, employing yourself. Step number 2, emotional attachment to the product. Here's why it's so important, especially if you're in the weight loss industry or in the nutritional industry. Emotional attachment to the product. When you get somebody on a product that they lose 20 pounds and they decide to become a distributor with that company, and they go talk to their friends about, hey, I lost this weight, or somebody notices, say, hey, what are you doing? Say, well, I'm on this nutritional stuff. And they start bad mouthing, they're knocking it down. Oh, it's one of those, pyramid deals, or, oh yeah, I heard about that. Well, here's the exciting part. Nothing can take away the fact that you lost 20 pounds on those products, no matter what they say. Their ignorance is obviously apparent, but they can't take away your results. So your results will stay with you, even if it's services. If you've got a service that has helped you legal service or identity service, if those services have helped you, then you've got that emotional attachment. Oh my God, what would I have done without that? Oh my gosh, it would have cost me so much more if I didn't have that. So whatever the services are, solar, you can save money on solar. A lot of these states are now net positive, or what do they call that, where you can actually sell the extra energy that you produce on solar panels back to the utility company. So these are things that you can get emotionally attached to regarding the saving the environment, using reusable energy. So having this duplicatable system, making sure you're, again, employing yourself as one, emotional attachment is number two, having a duplicatable system is number three. Why? Again, so you can point, guide, and direct your new distributors and yourself so that they can get their prospects to see, hear, and understand the information quicker and faster so they can make an informed decision. All right, let's move on. Number four, using the existing support tools. So many companies now have replicating websites, and they also have a tremendous support system on the back end. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't use the existing tools that the companies supply. Now, it doesn't mean that that's all you should use, but you want to get familiar and you want to get as much comfortable with what your company has to offer as quickly as possible so that you can use those support tools in building your business. They obviously work. Otherwise, it's not likely your company would put those support tools out. If you're in a new company that doesn't have any support tools, that could be a challenge because there's nothing to use. You've got to create your own. But most companies, again, especially now with the internet and the technology, most companies have support tools that are available to you that you can use. What are those? They could be webinars, they could be Zooms, they could be groups, online groups, Facebook groups, or separate meetup groups that are there to support you with daily and weekly Q&A sessions. They could have a FAQ section in their back office. They could have so many things that if you get familiar with them, understand them, and know what they are, you can use those existing support tools in not only building your business, but when you recruit somebody, you guide and direct to them to what they should be focused on to get off to a fast start. Because that's a really critical point when you are recruiting and when you're building a business. One of the challenges that I had when I started is that people knew that I was new. They knew that I was green behind the ears and I was just getting started. And so the environment that I created was in an environment of newness. And I was not able to recruit a lot of people, or at least get them started, get them going and get them in action. I couldn't take them to the next step because I was still learning myself. The company that I was with didn't have a lot of existing support tools for me, or I didn't know about them. Once I found out about them, I started plugging into them. And the more I used them, the better I got. The more I memorized the sayings, the more I learned the right phrases, the right terminology. And then I was able to get good enough where I was confident. And a lot of this has to do with confidence. Using these tools helped me build my confidence, so I was able to recruit a different level of person, a different level of prospect. And I was able to attract. The more I was able to recruit, the more I attracted more and more people that wanted to work with me. Why? Because I had support tools. Why? Because I knew what those support tools were and what they could do. Again, you utilize them, find out what you've got available to you and utilize them, and then teach that to your downline. Make sure they're doing the same thing. One of the things that surprised me is I had a script, and this script was phenomenal. It worked great. And I would recruit somebody and I'd give them this, they said, okay, here's a script. This is, I want you to memorize this script and we'll show you where and how to use it and so forth tomorrow, come back tomorrow. And so they would come back and say, you know what, I rewrote the script. I said, really? I said, that's pretty interesting. The script that I gave you works tremendously, and you rewrote it. I said, I can't help you with the one you rewrote because I don't know if that works. The one that I've got works tremendously. The one that you've got. So here's what I recommend is you use mine until you're making as much money as I am, and then you can redesign it the way you want to. So being able to come from a position of strength and confidence, knowing that you have tools that work, this is such an advantage to you in building your business and recruiting and training new people underneath you. Okay, so let's go to the next one. This one here, this next one, in my opinion, is the icing on the cake. So there's two parts to this. We'll cover both parts. One of the things about building a network marketing business is we need two things. We need customers and we need distributors. And again, I mentioned earlier when we were talking about the number one and number two, employing yourself and then emotional attachment to the products. I mentioned that I got in network marketing because I saw the money. I saw the opportunity, but I stayed in because of the product, because of the results I got in the products, and because of the results people I cared about got in the products. So when you care about the money and that's all you care about, people can actually see that, they feel that, and they hear that. So here's the first part. If you care more about your clients getting results on the products than you do about the commission you make on the sale, the money will hunt you down. And that's I really hope that resonated with you, or you could take that to heart, because it's not just about counting the money. It's not just about making the sale. It's about how that product or service is going to affect that individual, how it's going to help them. And if that comes across in your presentation, if that comes across in your delivery, that will go miles. And not just in the presentation when you make the sale, but in your follow-up, in your continued follow-up, when you're asking for referrals and you're nurturing and you're developing these new people, it's important for you to have this philosophy in your mind. You care more about the results that they get on the products than you do about the money that you make on the sale. The money will hunt you down. Here's part two of that. When you recruit a new person, or when you're talking to a prospect, if you care more about your new distributor earning income than you do about the royalty override or the commission you're going to make off of their sales, the money will hunt you down. So how does that relate? Well, see, when you're recruiting in network marketing, people know that you're going to be earning a royalty override off of them. They know that. But if you care more about that than you do about developing them and teaching them and training them and them making money, then they're going to know that too. If you help them, so I was having a conversation yesterday with someone that was interested in this class, and I said, when you recruit somebody, it's important that you show them how to make money in the first 24 to 48 hours, because after 48 hours, they're only 25% as excited as they were the first time they signed up. And then what do you call that, when they buyer's remorse comes in? Oh my God, I just spent a couple $100. I signed up in this company and I don't know if I did the right thing. I really don't know if I could do this. So if you have a plan of action and you recruit somebody and say, here's exactly what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to do it. And I'm going to show you how to make money in the first 24 to 48 hours. If you can come from a position of strength with that, see, for me, when I got started in network marketing, I learned how to make $100 a day. Back then I was getting a 50% profit. So when I sold $200 of the products, I made $100. Excuse me. So I learned how to make $100 a day. Now, some of that was face-to-face. Some of that was through ads in the newspaper. Now it's online, over the phone, through Zoom calls. But back then it was important for me to generate income. Why? Because then my recruiting exploded. Because when I'm making $100 a day and I could teach from a position of strength and confidence, I could recruit somebody and say, you know what, you join me and I'll teach you how to make $100 a day. And I can say that because I was doing it. You do what I do, and I can show you how to make $100 a day. That's $3,000 a month. Back then, that was a lot of money. Today, it's a lot of money. And that's just retail profit. That doesn't include wholesale profit from my distributors and royalty overrides. That's selling product on the retail side. So if you teach 5 people how to make $100 a day, your royalty override starts to go up significantly. But you can only teach them if you're doing it yourself. So if you care more about the results of them earning income than you do about the royalty you're going to make, it shows in your presentation, it shows in your voice, it shows in your whole aura of who you are and how you're presenting your product and service. I want to work with you now because I can see that you really care about what's in it, what's good for me. So you actually show that. So really take that to heart. 2 parts of that. Care more about the money, you care more about your prospects getting results on the products and services that you have than you do about the money, and the money will hunt you down. And then your new distributors, same thing. Care more about your new recruits making money than you do about the royalty override that you get off of them, and the money will hunt you down. So those are the 5 things. Recapping real quick: employing yourself is number 1. Emotional attachment to the products is number 2, product or service. Having a duplicatable system because you're not duplicatable, and using the existing support tools and systems that are in place that your company has, and then care more about your products. Let me show you what can happen. Here's why these 5 things are important. 30% of the decisions that people buy, 38%, this was done by HR Challey Research Company, are determined by the salespeople, not the price, the product, or the company. So if you teach your salespeople these 5 things, you teach your distributors, you do these 5 things, this will change everything, because people are going to make their decision based on you, based on how you feel about what you say about these products, based on how you feel about the duplicatable system that you have, based on the commitment and the discipline you have to get up every single day and go to work, prospecting and employing yourself, based on using the tools that are in place and showing them that you care. Here's what you can do with this. You can coach your team to greatness. You can become great, every single one of you. Your sales reps, they've got the ability to get better. You've got the ability to get better. Bridge that gap. Why do you want to work with me? Here's a couple more things why you want to work with me. What I can teach you. Grew up in a restaurant business. I was a shift manager at 15 every day after school. By 18, when I graduated, I became a store manager. From 26 to 31, I was trained by some of the top leaders in the network marketing industry. John and Susan Peterson, Jim Fulbert, Mark Hughes, Larry Thompson, and the great Jim Rohn. I spent 5-6 years with these people learning, actually slept on John and Susan's couch for 6 months, moved out to Denver, Colorado, slept on their couch for 6 months so that I could learn everything that they were doing to make the kind of money that they were making. And they were top distributors in their company for over 10 years. And Susan Peterson John's no longer with us, but Susan Peterson is still one of the top people. In fact, she was actually nominated as Entrepreneur of the Year about 15-20 years ago from George Bush, the second George Bush, nominated Entrepreneur of the Year for what she was doing with recruiting and building. In the 90s, I got up to over 100,000 a month in income, and I was instrumental in recruiting, training, and managing what has since become one of the largest direct sales organizations in the world. Today, that distributorship currently is producing over $3 billion in annual sales. And from 2006, 2018, I recruited, trained, and managed the largest producing door-to-door sales team in the country. So this isn't about me. This is about what I could teach you. This is about what I could share with you. This is about what I've learned that I'm ready to pass on. Here's some, let me see if I can get a better picture here. Apparently not. Oh, well, you get to see the bottom half. That's not good. Let me see if I can figure that out. Hang on one second. You're laughing at me. Don't laugh at me. Come on. Oh, well, you see the bottom half of her. That's not good. How do I fix that? Okay, well, I can't fix it. I can't tell the story. Well, actually, I can. That's Andrea Nagy, actually. Gosh, I got to be able to fix that. Let me see what I can do here.
Do you have it on your computer?
I do.
You should be able to bring it up on your screen. So if it's a Word document or your web browser, and then in your Zoom, click share screen.
I figured it out.
Yay.
Thank you so much. Okay, this is better. Can you see that? Oh my God, it's not showing up. Okay, so I got to do it the other way.
Yep, we see it.
Yeah, but we'll do that. Okay, so this is Andrea Nagy. She was actually a barmaid waitress. This was about almost 2 years after I was in the industry, struggling and learning. I was learning. I had just I was in my trip to actually from Denver. I came back to Detroit for a funeral, met her at a bar, and told her about my products, told her about my business, and went back to Denver. She got results on the products while I was gone. I sold her the products. She got results on the products while I was in Denver. I kept in touch with her. And then she said, I want to do this business full time. Will you come back to Detroit and work with me, because I can put some people in front of you? And so I said, yes. So I packed up, came back to Detroit, and we started working together. And she actually ended up earning $90,000 in 8 months and just exploded. And it was unbelievable what happened there. And then let's see, 2 years later, the company expanded into Mexico, and I was able to recruit this young man here. He's now become pretty famous. He owns his own company now. But back then, Elie Michel, him and I actually went down to Mexico. I ended up living in Mexico City for a year, worked with Elie Michel, taught him the business, and changed his life, both of our lives forever. His business just exploded down there in Mexico. He was actually over 100,000 a month. That's what drove my income over 100,000 a month. And that distributorship that him and I built, that continued to grow, that's the one that is currently in 22 countries, doing over 3 billion a year. And now Elie is the co-founder of his own network marketing company down there in Mexico and doing extremely well. But these are some of these 5 things that I shared with you all today. These are what I trained Andrea on. These are what I trained Elie on. And there's more components, but we'll talk about that in a second. So who's this for? This is for you. If you're in network marketing, you're in direct sales, this is for you. I'm looking for 20 people who'd like to become elite at network marketing, what you do at building your business, at recruiting, at selling, at duplicating. You'll have the skills from the ideas that you learn for the rest of your life. Just like Andrea now, by the way, didn't mention that, she now runs an international import business, and she's doing unbelievably well from the skills that I taught her back then. The benefits of becoming the best network marketer you can become: you'll increase your income, position of leadership with your team, recognition. You'll get into the top 5% of the country, 100,000 a year is top 5% of the adult population in the country. And that's my objective, is to teach you how to get there. What's included? I'm going to be doing a half-day immersion workshop on December 4th, 9 a.m. Pacific time. That's going to be there's going to be a special interactive toolkit in this half-day workshop where we're going to spend 4 to 5 hours with total immersion. These are some of the things we're going to cover. I'll share. We're going to be building a premier training community in the world with Eric Law Firm International. We'll have our own Facebook group. We will have, in fact, that's already up. We will have several things. So that's coming. Okay, so the reason to join this program, what it does, it will compress time. I always taught my kids, there's 2 ways to learn. You can learn from the School of Hard Knocks, or you can learn from other people's experiences. School of Hard Knocks is painful and expensive. You can do it. It just takes time. I learned a lot of things through the School of Hard Knocks, but I compressed time by moving out to Denver and sleeping on John's couch for 6 months. Not many people would do that. I compressed time by moving to Mexico away from my family for a year. I compressed time, moved to Sao Paulo, Brazil, lived there for a year as well, doing network marketing. And not many people would do that. So you can learn in compressed time, get better, far greater than monetary and time investment. We want to help you to become the best you can be. And here's what we're going to do in the class. We're going to talk about how to get clients, teach how to get clients every single day, how to chase the business. Once you get a new recruit, how not to just expect them to do it on their own, but how to chase the business, overcoming procrastination, the science of recruiting, understanding the whole mechanism, working the open lane, impending events, how to promote impending events, working the calendar and having the calendar work for you. Actually, I'm doing a special class on that. Mark your calendars on December 29th. I'm doing a special class on how to get the calendar to work for you. 3 stages of momentum. Tell, show, try, do, which is probably one of the biggest mistakes that most people make in network marketing, is understanding this equation of tell, show, try, do. It's one of the things that slows down duplication to almost nothing. You understand that, you learn that, it'll change everything for you. Prospecting online and offline, and breaking out of your comfort zone. So once you get to 10,000 a month, we'll teach you how to break out of that comfort zone and not getting too comfortable to get to 20,000 a month. One of my mentors told me when I was coming up in the industry, he says, some of the hardest people to teach are the ones that are already making 30, 40,000 a month. I said, why is that? It's because they're making more money than they've ever made before, and they think they got all the answers. But they really don't have all the answers, because there's somebody that's making 50, 60, 70,000 a month that they can learn more from. I said, wow, I never heard that before. I said, that's pretty interesting. So when you get into your comfort zone, wherever that is, whether it's 2,000 a month, 3,000 a month, will help you break out of that comfort zone and get to the next step. Are you ready to break out? Are you ready to break through? So the total investment for this half-day workshop is $297. And here's the landing page. I can't copy it for some reason. Wow. Won't let me copy it. Can I click it? Let's see what happens. Yeah.
Not while you're sharing it,
That's okay.
but you can put it in chat and everyone can get it. I have to be able to
copy it first. So let me copy it here, paste. Okay, now it's in the chat. Okay, where's my, there we go. Okay, did it come through on the chat? Did I lose everybody?
Nope, it went through on the chat.
Okay, cool. Okay, so total investment for the half-day workshops, $297. You order within the next 10 minutes. I'll throw in a 30 to 60 minute one-on-one coaching session with me. It's $250 value. That's my current rate. So if you order in the next 10 minutes, go to that landing page and order in the next 10 minutes. I'll leave it up for a minute so you guys can copy and paste it into your browser. But that is what I wanted to share with you today. This half-day workshop, in my opinion, actually wanted to charge 3 times more. And Eric said, no, he goes, it's a launch. He goes, let's get as many people in there as we possibly can. I says, Eric, it's going to be so content rich. It's going to be worth it. He goes, I understand that. He goes, but sometimes you got to give. I said, okay. I said, let's give it. So here it is, $297 for a half-day workshop. Go ahead and sign up as soon as you can here in the next 10 minutes. This is going to be recorded and we're going to get it out there. So we'll do it on the honesty policy. I know who was on the live presentation today. So you guys go ahead and order it. And then anybody else that sees the recording, we'll do it on the honesty policy that you ordered in 10 minutes after you saw the video. All right, everybody. So that was the presentation for today. Hopefully you got some value out of it. I'll go over those five steps again, 5 key secrets. 1, employing yourself. Really understand that you are the president, founder, and chairman of the board of your own business. You've got to treat it like a job. 2, emotional attachment to your product or service. 3, duplicatable system, because you're not duplicatable. 4, using the existing support tools and systems in promoting the next impending event. And 5, care more about people getting results on the products than you do about the money you make, and the money will hunt you down. All right, with that, everybody, we'll go ahead and sign off. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join me. I look forward to working with each and every one of you. God bless and have a great day. Bye-bye now.
Goodbye.